My name is Dianna Rigby. I work for the Queensland Ambulance Service as a supervisor, paramedic, and I live at Yandina on the Sunshine Coast. I had actually been procrastinating about, I always knew that investing in property was probably a smart thing to do, but I've been procrastinating for probably 10 years and just not had the confidence to go ahead and do it. I'd done a lot of research myself. I knew a lot about how to do it, but I still didn't have quite that confidence. And recently I started researching a little bit more about it and some companies that might be able to help me. There was one that had an outlay of something like 6,000 or 9,000, depending on what level of membership you wanted in order to be able to get access to the information and the properties and that sort of stuff. So Investor Property actually do all that for free. When I went and saw Matt at Investor Property, uh, like a lot of the stuff, as I said, I already knew, but it reinforced it. And they certainly had the information, the data, the intelligence to actually know exactly where I should invest, source the properties, just made it really easy. A testimonial to how easy it has been is that I then told my sons about it and got them in touch with Matt, and he's been able to help them invest as well. I think one of the things I was concerned about was with my age. Obviously that's why I was starting to think about it again and looking towards retirement. I thought, have I gotten into the game too late? And Matt was able to reassure me that a lot of his customers are around my age, because that's when you really do start thinking about retirement, and reassured me that it's not too late. But I'm really happy that my boys are going to be a lot more ahead of the game, and by my age, they should be really secure. 24 and 22. Amazing. 23 and 25. They just had birthdays. Together, Matt's been able to make it work for them to be able to invest together on two properties, which they can then look at splitting down the track and have one each. But it's allowed both of them to be able to invest. So when I first rang Matt to inquire about what their company did, I basically said, this is what I want to do. I already know a lot about it. This is, what my situation is, and what can you do to help me, basically. And very quickly he sort of said, look, you're the perfect client for us. This is exactly what we can do, but what I'd like you to do is come in for a face-to-face meeting. And at that meeting, Mel was there as well and talked a little bit about his background, put the information into terminology that made sense to me as well, related it even to like my career in the ambulance, how, to give examples of different scenarios, I suppose. But he was able to make it really simple. And with his background, so I think he was in the Defence Forces for quite a while. He's got a lot of information that really gave me confidence that he knew exactly what he was doing. There was a really hard worker, and he's got a lot of videos on the Investor Property site that gives information about investing as well. So yeah, I got to meet them both face to face, and straight after that meeting, my husband and I both went to that. Straight after that meeting, we just said, "Yep, let's get started." And it was only, I don't know, 2-3 weeks after that we had our first property. So it was no mucking around. This is the property that I recommend for you. And that was probably actually easier than choosing. I could have, I imagine I could have quite easily said, no, I don't like that. What else have you got? But I didn't really have to do much decision making of anything. He sort of said, this is what I recommend. I've had a look at it, thought, oh, yeah, that suits me. And the other one at Marcoola, like I said, right near the beach, perfect location. And I can't imagine not being able to make profit with that spot. In fact, we might even move into that as we go towards retirement as well. One of the other things that I liked about Investor Property is that they're a collective, and when the property is built, they also do property management, and we can, you know, with that, they offer a 5-year rental return guarantee. And I've had some people say, oh, but you need to sort of, if you buy with them, then you have to have them manage your property for you. That's actually not correct. You can choose to, but you don't have to. For me, again, that's exactly what I was looking for, to take all of the hard work out of it, the pressure out of it, and just have something that's going to work for me and somebody that I know is looking after it. And I suppose they have a greater vested interest as well in getting the right properties to be able to give those rental assurances and to take on that management of the property as well. So they're going to, the way I see it, is probably work harder for us in order to keep that relationship going. Yes, I would definitely recommend others to invest with investor property. And in fact, I've already recommended my children do it, and there's no greater, I guess, recommendation if you recommend to your own kids. So, I think that says something. I had seen financial planners, and I had, sort of been told, yeah, look, it is a good thing to do, but I just did not have that confidence. And particularly, and probably if I'd spoken to investor property 10, 15 years ago, I might have been confident to do it then, with their support and their knowledge and their encouragement, I suppose, to say that it is a good idea. Yeah. Hold me by the hand, I suppose, to lead me where I need to go. It's just made it a lot, taken all that stress and pressure out of it. I mean, there's still a little bit of stress and pressure, don't get me wrong, but I definitely feel more confident having investor property behind me, supporting me and leading the way. I don't want to be greedy or anything, but I want to be comfortable in retirement. So whether I'll keep getting advice from Matt, I suppose, whether he sort of suggests on how these properties are performing, whether we should get another one or another two. But in the end, we want to be able to have an income when we actually retire from work, so that we know that we've still got that money coming in. If we need to, we could then sell one of the properties, but still have a passive income with rent. That's kind of the goal. And however many properties we need to make that happen, we'll take that advice from Matt. Yeah. I would like to be able to retire in 5 years. I've kind of been thinking it's probably going to be 10 realistically, but if we could retire in 5, that would be amazing, and that would be hitting that 60-year mark, because I don't want to work until I die. I've talked to a few different people about what they're doing as well, because I've got a few colleagues that are doing similar kind of things, and I've heard some people say that they've gone through similar type investment companies, and as soon as they've sold you the properties, they've had questions and all that sort of stuff. Can't get in contact with them, that sort of stuff. And it's like they've got them, sold them the property, and then they've kind of disappeared, and there's been questions, can't get in contact, they don't answer, multiple phone calls. Every time I have messaged or phoned Matt, there has been an instant reply. So, and that's where I think also that whole having the property management side as well, it just really continues that relationship. And I've never had to wait for a response. So it is always, like I said, as soon as I send an email, I've got a response back, usually within an hour or two.